Hi friends, welcome back to our channel Total-QA. In our channel, we already posted multiple videos and we categorize all the videos into multiple playlists. Please refer to the videos and gain the knowledge. If you have any doubts in all these videos when you try to go through that, please provide the questions in the comment section. I will try to provide answers if you have any queries in going through the videos. Now, in today's video, we're going to discuss about how are we going to testing web services using SoapUI Part 2. We already completed testing web services using SoapUI Part 1. We have discussed how do we test web services. We have taken a sample example, which is a real-time example, and we have verified it. How are we going to test it via SoapUI? In SoapUI Part 2, we are going to learn about how are we going to parameterize the SoapUI. Parameterize the test case in SoapUI. So in order to parameterize the test case in SoapUI, we have to learn about a language which is called as Groovy language. It is important that we can parameterize the test case in SoapUI via Groovy language. So what is Groovy language? If you wanted to learn Groovy language, there is an official website from Groovy language website. You can see groovylang.org, groovy-lang.org, syntax.html, and you can see here there are a lot of information is available. We can practice each and everything separately in a Groovy editor and try to acquire the knowledge. But we will try to cover about the Groovy language in a separate video. But our focus in today's video is how are we going to parameterize the test case in SoapUI. So let's look into what is our test case. How are we going to parameterize in this video? Let me open SoapUI. In the SoapUI, we have multiple test cases. Currently, we picked out one test case, that is corner points test case. I just double click on the corner points test case. I just clicked on the soap, the corner point soap. Just click on it. It opens. This is the request. And in this request, we have to pass a value for the sector. Then when you click on this execute button, we get the result, we get the response here. This is the response tab. So let's try to do one thing, provide a value now. Some hard-coded value we will provide. The value what we can provide here is, it is available in this website. Here we have a corner grid points. Select this. We have set of values such as Kaunas, Alaska, Guam, Hawaii. So we have different values. Let's take Kaunas now. Copy this. Go here, try to provide Kaunas here. And click on execute. See, we get the value. After a few seconds, we get the value. Just wait for a few seconds. Now, once we get the outcome, our objective is how are we going to maintain all these values? How are you going to parameterize the same test case with these set of values? That is our objective. I think it's still taking some time. So now we got a response here. The response is shown in the response tab and the test case is executed successfully. And also in the part 1, the video, part 1 video, we already created multiple sessions. The sessions are successful. But now, as I said, how are we going to maintain this data? We have totally 5 or 6 values. How are we going to execute the same test case with multiple sets of data? So for that reason, I maintain this data in the Excel. I maintain 3 values. I'm going to save this in a file location. Let me try to save this in a location. So file, save as. So I'm going to provide the file name as corner grid points data, and I would like to save this file as a CSV, a comma separated values. We have to see whether we have an option for CSV here. Yes, a comma delimited start.csv. You can provide start.csv. Select this, click on save, click on OK. Click on S. Yes, the file will be saved into a specific location. Then close this. then keep it open, it's okay. Let's get into the logic now. So we maintain the data in an Excel file. Now we're going to write the Groovy scripting now for this test case. So how are we going to write Groovy scripting for this test case? First and foremost thing is select the test step, select the test steps, right click on the test steps, select add step here, and we are going to select the Groovy scripting here to write the Groovy script. You can see, select the test steps, add step, Groovy scripting I'm going to add. And I'll provide the Groovy scripting name as parameterize corner points parameterization. Okay, we are creating a Groovy script now. Let's start getting into the logic now. Now we're going to write the first line of statement. Say definition, say Groovy utils equal to new com dot everywhere dot soapui dot support dot Groovy utils, and we are going to mention here the context. It's very important. This we have to mention as a context. This context is useful for us to carry forward. And also one more important thing, in Java also we have new, right? When we are creating an object of a class, we use new. So Groovy is also totally dependent on a Java OOPS concepts. So if you learn Java very well, then learning Groovy script is very easy. Okay, now we are going to use a context now. So say, and also we can try to print something, say log.info. So we can say logic for reading the data from CSV file, parameterize test case. Okay, now what happened? I have created one log.info. Suppose for example you wanted to see this when I try to execute whether it is printing in the console or not. What I can do, just click on this button to run the script. You can see the log output, the data is getting displayed in the log output in the console. So you can use log.info similar to our system.out.println. In Java, you can use log.info in SOAP UI to get the outcome in the console. Then next step, context. As I said, we are using context. So context dot file reader, we are going to read the file. But do we know the location of the file? No, we don't know the location of the file. Let's take the location of the file. The file location is definition, the file location or the file path. Anything is fine, file path or file location, anything is fine. You need to provide the location of the file. I know the location of the file is c:// SOAP UI tutorial. Mainly, I just gave corner. What is the file name? You can see the file name here. Corner grid point data CSV. Corner grid point data CSV. So this is how we have to provide the path. This is the file path. Then what we are going to do, if you remember in Java, whenever we need to read the file, we are using file reader. Let's give file reader. And in the file reader, we are giving the file path. And this file reader is going to be encapsulated within the buffer reader here. So it's same as in Java, right? We have a buffer reader, we have a file reader, then we have a file path. Similarly, same thing we are doing here in the case of Groovy scripting as well. And one more thing here, we have to encapsulate the object of the file reader class also. So this file reader class, we are creating an object and we are passing the path of the file, and also this encapsulation is the object we are going to pass as a parameter while creating an object of the buffer reader class. Now let's try to read the number of lines available in the CSV file, right? Next step, because we know the file location, now we have to read the file. So read the number of lines, context dot file reader dot read lines. Okay, we'll do one thing. This file reader will be getting confused. We'll just give some name here. Say file reader dot read lines. we get the number of lines here. Int, just go to rows. Then we will try to get the count. Int row count is equal to rows dot size. So again I'll repeat, we are going to create an object, Groovy Utils object. Using this object, what we are going to do, once we try to define this is important to define this in the top of the program. First line of statement, we are going to define this context. Then once we get this context, using this context, we are going to read the file reader. But how are we going to get the file reader? We are going to create an object of the file reader class. Okay. Then again, we are going to create an object of the buffer reader class. Then we get the outcome. Then we are going to call read lines. We get the number of rows, and rows dot size, we get the row count. And this is a function mainly, file reader dot read lines, because rows dot size. So these are all functions. Okay. Suppose for example, if you want to get the help any time, you can just click on here to get the online help for the Groovy scripting. Just click on question mark here in the right hand side top. You get the online help for the Groovy scripting as well. Now let me print log.info, say log.info number of rows in the CSV file. Let me put here as say row count. I will do one thing. Okay, because we are concatenating with the plus operator, just put row count to see what is outcome now. So we got the size, the number of rows in CSV is file 3, the size 3, right? We are putting totally 3 values. You can check here. We are having totally 3 values: Kaunas, Alaska, Guam, right? Now we are able to print number of rows, the row count we are able to print. Now whenever we have a row count, it is important to write a for loop to read each and every row. For int I is equal to 0, I less than row count I plus plus. Right. So what are we going to do now? Let's take the row count. Let's take the row of I. Mainly, basically what we can do is we need to get the number of rows of I, right? Let's take rows of I, get the first row. Okay, get the first row and try to take into a data. First row of data, store in a data variable, and try to split. It's a string. Try to split data dot split. You are going to give question mark. Okay. Then we are putting data dot array. Okay. Try to get the rows of I and try to print. Let's do one thing. Don't take any split function. Let's see is there any semicolon, is there any comma is available. Let's try to print log.info, say printing the data in the CSV. Let's try to print the CSV data first. If it is required split function or not, we can check afterwards. Otherwise it's not required, then we don't need to write. So what I'm trying to do in the for loop, I'm just trying to get the first row, store in a variable, I'm printing it here. Let's see what will happen now. So we're able to get the data, then I think we don't require this, we don't require even this data variable also. Let's remove this, just put here rows of I. Are we getting rows of I? Yes. So it's very simple, you don't need to process any data. There are cases where if there is a comma, if there is a semicolon, if there is a space, then you need to use a split functionality for the string, but here it is nothing is required, just the rows of I. Then what we are going to do is we are going to use Groovy util dot set property value. What is the property we are going to use? Let me show you. First, let's create one property. The property is like say corner point property. It's a property name. What is the value we are going to set? We are going to set this value for this property. Corner point is a property. We are going to set this value to this corner point. It's a variable name. Suppose think like this, it's a variable in Java. this corner point variable, we are setting this value. What is this value? We have seen already. Corners is a value, right? ASCII is a value. GOM is a value. So we are going to set all these values here. Then after that, we have to execute the script. Test runner dot run test step by name. Test step by name. Which one we are going to execute now? We are going to execute this corner points now. This is the test step. This is the test step by name. This is the test step by name. The test step is corner points. Okay. So we are going to run this test step. Okay. If you look into here, this is a test step. The test step name is corner points. That is what we have done. And this is a for loop. Right? And we are just logging this information. And also we are setting this key value pair. What is the key? Corner point is a key, and we are going to set the value using rows. What is a rows? We are getting all the rows available here, and we can associate the index to fetch the first row, second row, third row, fourth row. Right? So now we got the clarity now. Let's move on further. So what is the property? How do we create this property? Let's look into this information now. If you want to create this property, this corner point value, let's create corner point value. If you want to create this property, you have to select the test step. You have to select the test step. Okay. Or click on corner points. You can see there is a plus symbol here. There's a plus symbol, or else do one thing. Let's try to do one more thing we can do here is we can go to the custom properties. Select the test step. 1 second. Select the test steps. Click on add step. Select the properties here to create a property. This is also one of the test step. Select the test step. Click on the properties. Just click on properties. Please say OK. And in the properties, let's put the key. What is the key we are using in the Groovy scripting? The key we are using is corner point value. Copy this. Go to properties. Just click on plus symbol. Add this property here. That's it. That's it. Okay. What happens during runtime, during execution, this corner point value will be set by this Groovy scripting. Okay. And also in the test case, we're going to execute this test case. In this test case, we should not hard code the value. We should write some information saying that because we are going to referring to the property value. If we are going to refer to the property value, you have to mention I'm referring to the properties hash. What is the property? What is the property name? Corner point value. Just go to this test case, put the information here. That's it. This is how you can update the script. This is a SOAP request. There are totally 3 steps are there. What are the 3 steps? Let's write down the 3 steps, right? Test steps. One is the SOAP request, Groovy scripting, and properties. So if you try to maintain these 3 steps, SOAP request, Groovy scripting, properties, Groovy scripting, we will write the script here to read the file, read the CSV, iterate the rows, pass the values, and store in the property. Okay, and use and run the test case, test step. In the properties, we have a key and a value. This key will be referred in the SOAP request. How are we going to refer? Say $properties. Say hash the key. So this is a process we have to follow for a parameterizing test case in SOAP UI. Let me execute this program now. Let me go to the corner points parameterization. I click on this, and also we focus on the log. We have a SOAP UI log. What is the content of the SOAP UI log? The SOAP UI log will show what is the request, what is the response. Let's clear this first. Before you run anything, clear this so that we know, and log output also clear. Before we run our test cases, it's better to clear. Okay, so let me run this now. Observe the logs now. I clicked on SOAP UI log. We have a SOAP UI log here. We have log output here. Let's focus on these two now. Let me execute this. Observe carefully. So we are getting an error in the line number 12. Let's see. So in the line number 12, possible solution, set property value string comma string. But what we set here, did we set the string or not? Set property value, we have to set string comma string. So this is not considering as a string, right? So we have to see why it is not considering as a string, because this is a string and this should be a string, right? But why it is not considering as a string? So let's try to do one thing. Let's try to take one variable, say string data is equal to rows of I, and we'll just pass data because it should consider as a string, but it is not considering as a string. Let's try to execute and see now. Okay, so now what is the error? Because we are trying to store the values also in a string. We are passing the string here, but it's still not working. Let's do one thing. Let's look into the log now. What's the log is saying? Copy this information. I just try to select this information. See, Control C, whether we can copy this log and see in the console and see. So the information what it is providing here is, just try to understand. The com.everywhere SOAP UI support groovy utils.set property value is applicable for argument types string, values, corner point value corners, possible solutions. It is giving us guidance. What is the guidance it is giving? It should be a string. There are totally 3 different values we have to pass. But how many values we are passing here? We are passing only 2 values. Okay, so there might be some issue here. What we have to do in the case of set property value, we have to mention here as well the properties. We have to mention one tab as properties, so that properties, comma, corner values. The reason why I am doing mistakes while writing the script, it will be helpful for us to see in the logs what is the error we are getting, how do we fix it. And suppose if you are interested to know how to fix this error also, you can just copy this set property value. Just go to website set property value, say you can just click on SOAP UI. You will get a lot of information. You can just read what is the set property does. You can just check here on how are we going to pass this set property value. Set property value, see here we have community, we have videos, we have website. Just click on these links and try to get some idea about the set property value. Okay, so then once we get the knowledge, we can go back to the Groovy scripting here and try to associate the 3 values. One is properties, corner point value, and data. So now we don't want data actually. We don't require this. We just need to put rows of I. That's it, because we need to pass 3 values, 3 strings. First string is properties. This is a corner point value. The rows. Let me execute this now. Now it is executing. You can see the logs here. You can see the logs. It is reading 3. Right? It is executing the test case also. The corner points test case is getting executed. Take the SOAP UI log. It is executing corners, Alaska, and also we are getting GOM, right? We got that. And also we can say HTTP log also. Let me try to show the HTTP log. Let me minimize log output. If we click on log output here, HTTP log will be shown for us. Otherwise, the space is not sufficient. Let's try to clear now here. Again, try to run and see the outcome. You can even see, yes, it is executed multiple times. See here, we got the response. See Alaska. You see here Alaska. You can even try to copy this entire content also and put it in a notepad to see what is the response we got it, what is the request we sent. So it will take some time because it has to execute for 3 different sets of data. Once it is done successfully, copy this data into a notepad and try to see what are the different requests we sent, what is the response we get to get some knowledge. It takes some more time to execute. So I am rerunning the test case again. Let's see the log output. So right now we can see the HTTP log. The log is also getting displayed. We can copy the we can copy the contents of the, say, copy to the clipboard. You can select this, any of the statement you can select and copy to the clipboard. Select all the content of this. Right click and copy to the clipboard and copy the content here to see what is the request we sent, what is the response we get. We can see all the data here. See, if you look into this, we got this response. Right. Similarly, if you look into this, we got this response. So response, this is the value we are sending, and what is the response we got. We can see all this information in the HTTP log. And one more important point here, when you try to do some scripting using Groovy, you have to go to File, go to Preferences, go to Editor Settings. Try to make sure you change the font. Otherwise, the font is very small in size. You cannot write the script and try to understand because the font size by default it will be small. You can select the font. Okay, you can change the font accordingly. Select the size. Click on OK. Then you can click on OK in the bottom. That's it. You are done. You can change the font successfully. So this is how we're going to parameterize the web services in SOAP UI using Groovy scripting. It's very easy to learn. Please try to spend some time and try to practice this topic separately. This will be helpful for you to learn how are we going to test web services and parameterize them in SOAP UI. So if you like my video, please subscribe and share.